All right. I believe Orange Sports Network. Such a time as this, we're their live Tuesday 7:30 podcast we do every week, and we got a lot to talk about. We're getting in the middle of football season, and before we get started, talk about football. Let's just give some shout outs to some of the sponsors. Color Chaos. They're doing a lot of stuff around the games. If you go down there before the game off College Avenue, they've got a lot of specials going on. I talked to Jen on the phone today. We're going to be doing two shows for two sponsors on Saturday. We're doing one at 11:30 a.m. at Boneyard Cycles, which is on Pierman Dairy Road. And then we're doing a 2 p.m. over at El Humidor, the Clemson location. They got 4 locations, but the one on Tiger Boulevard, like you're going toward Lake Hartwell. And, I was telling, we did a show Friday, and I was telling Mike, I said, Mexican usually wasn't my first choice when we were talking about restaurants to go, but I think they've changed my mind. They've got a cheesesteak burritos just to die for. And we actually ate there after the show Friday. Really good, really good. And we're going to be doing it out on the deck. It looks like, according to the weather, thinking I'm leaving to go to Clemson in the morning, wondering if I'll bring a boat. But it looks like everything's going to clear out by lunchtime Friday, but we're supposed to get anywhere from 7 to 8 inches. And they were, I saw something, but I didn't read it. They changed some. We got homecoming, and I know they got floats out there, so I don't know. I saw something pop up, didn't read it. They're changing some things for homecoming due to this hurricane that's coming up. Fred Anderson of Toyota looking ahead for the Florida State game, which is an away game at Florida State. We're doing a 11:30 morning show. They announced the time for that game. It's going to be a 7 o'clock game, too. So we're getting a lot of night games. I like that. But it's been Tallahassee, so we're going to show Fred Anderson Toyota in Greer. Tap In and Brews is a sponsor of ours. They've been on the radio a lot. The way it sounds, they're going to be opening any day now. They're on Lake Hartwell, one of them indoor golf places where you got it set up like the Masters, and a little bit about some of those golf courses, and you'll be able to go in there and play golf inside, have your beer. Another thing we're doing, everybody watching this, I met with my IT guy today, and we're going to put it on the website for you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. We're going to have a drawing every week. You're going to put your information in there, email, and we'll announce it probably every Friday. And we'll be giving away a free IBO shirt or something, cap, whatever. But we'll be doing a drawing every week. So go and subscribe to our YouTube, and we will have a place where you can enter in for the drawing every week on our website. Free drawing. And, okay, without any further ado, let's talk football. It is football season.
Yeah. Tigers looked really good last Saturday.
We did. I was at the game, and the first half looked like a repeat almost of App State. We had some interesting information. We had our 800th win, first person in the ACC to do that, first team in the ACC to do that. There were 8 touchdowns, okay? And what was interesting, 5 different players got a touchdown. And then Cade had a touchdown. The only Clemson player out of those touchdowns that had more than 1 touchdown was Antonio Williams. He had 2 touchdowns. And then, of course, the last touchdown was a pick 6. So, which made it kind of interesting. So we're mixing it up.
Another little fun fact, too, and if you were watching the game at home, you would have seen this graphic come up. Only team in 20 seasons. Okay, so it's been 20 seasons that a team scored 28 points in the first quarter in back-to-back games.
Now, how many seasons? 28 seasons.
20 seasons.
20 seasons.
It has been, so in a sense, it's been 20 years.
Yeah, since somebody's done that back-to-back.
28 points in the first quarter.
Wow.
In back-to-back games.
Yeah, it looks like a video game in those first quarters, man. You sat down or just get settled, and all of a sudden, Cade just took off.
Yeah.
And usually you plan them to get 10, 15 yards. He just kept on running. Look, just kept on going.
Like I said, I don't know what the deal was in that Georgia game, but in the last 2 games, the play calling has been completely night and day.
Razzle dazzle, baby. Razzle dazzle.
I mean,
that's what I've been saying.
granted,
Yeah.
there were still little flat passes there, but when they threw it to the flat, it worked. Like it was a 5-yard deal, a 10-yard deal. It was a play was made, and then all of a sudden, boom, there was like a shot down the field right after. Or a big run play that kind of developed, and then right down the field they did it with a pass. I mean, and in all fairness, there was one play that was in the first half that a pass was thrown to Antonio Williams, and he caught it in his hands, but as he was going down, it was knocked out of his hands. If you actually go back and watch the replay on that, the cornerback or the defender, the defensive back, kind of grabbed him by his hips and kind of held him up just a little bit.
Yeah.
And honestly, should have been called pass interference, but however, it wasn't. But if that wouldn't have happened, Antonio Williams would have caught that in stride and would have been another deep long yard pass.
Yeah.
I watched the game again today just to kind of just wanted to watch it again, see some things that I might have missed, whatever. And I couldn't believe what I saw when I saw that. I was like, man, if that defender didn't slow Antonio Williams down just enough to allow him to kind of catch up to him, that would have been another deep ball pass that would have gone for a pick for a touchdown. So
yeah, after the Georgia game, I think they just started. They looked at the play call, and I remember Dabba saying in one of the interviews, "We're going for it, man. We're going to go ahead and make the calls, make the plays. Either going to make it or not, but we're going to." And I think it's paid off.
It's been night and day in play calling.
I mean, it has. We've gone. Like it reminds me of the Sean Watson Trevor days, and we've been talking about it for 4 years, and you were using the words like vanilla and stale, and I mean that's basically what been going on. And then all of a sudden, I'm sitting at that App State game, and just right away, I mean, two quarters, 28 points each. And you start a game off that, and you're sitting at Death Valley. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and then defensive line was looking good, making some big shots.
By the first quarter.
I mean, TJ Parker with that sack fumble.
Yeah.
Then we had the strip fumble.
Yeah.
The pick six that was late in the fourth quarter, I believe. Yeah, now, funny story about that. Number 23, and I cannot think of his name right now, but number 23 had a pass interference call that was just dumb on his part. Yeah. Pass interference call in the end zone that allowed North Carolina State to get a late touchdown and come out the next series. And what did he do? Made up for that pass interference and got a pick six.
Yeah. Yeah, that pick six, I saw that again today. That was beautiful. Because I didn't see it at the game. I heard the cheer. We'd walk out. Man, it was hot down there Saturday.
Oh, it was very hot today.
It was hot. My phone overheated. I literally, my whole, like I've gone swimming. I'm sweating so bad.
So we did move up in the rankings. We went from number 21 to number 17 in the AP poll. We are sitting at number 15 in the coaches poll.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just a good quick look here. We got Miami sitting in the top 10 at number 7. Mm-hmm. We got Louisville sitting at number 15. Notre Dame, technically not an ACC school, but they are sitting at number 16. Yeah. Let's see. What other ACC team? That's all in the AP poll. Coaches poll, Miami's 9 versus 7.
Yeah, Miami had a little bit of a scare.
Louisville. Funny story, Louisville is 17 in the coaches poll, and we're 15 in the coaches poll. Other than that, that is all of the ACC schools in the top 25.
Well, that's about where
I believe we do play Louisville later this season, which means we, let them keep winning. Let them keep winning.
Is that at Louisville?
I
think it's at Death Valley, isn't it?
I think
it's
no, Louisville. This is a home game.
It's at home. It's Death Valley
on November 2nd.
Yeah. So that's a home game. That's good.
It's a home game, November 2nd. So
Louisville can be a tough place to play. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, they come to our house, and like I said, hopefully Louisville keeps winning, getting their ranking up, so that when we play, it makes it look better for us.
Yeah.
But so then we got Stanford this week, 7:00 p.m. game time. I kind of like that, not too early. I really wish we just had 3:30 games, to be honest. But 7:00 game, not too bad. It's not going to be like midnight when the game ends.
Man.
Usually when it starts at 7, you get a decent time.
Yeah, yeah, that freaking that App State game, and not only that, we did a show at Golden Gate Park, and I'd left my car there, and Mike took us in. And Mike didn't go to the game, but we did our parking there, and then we had to wait on the guy to come get us and take us back. And man, I didn't get home to 3:00 in the morning back to Spartanburg. But yeah, 7:00's a little bit better than 8:00 game. And it's not close.
Because it never really starts at 8:00. It says, it's an 8:00 start time, but the kickoff's not until like 8:15, 8:20.
Yeah, it's always like that. It's always they say that. Like, well, the noon game was 12:08. I'm like, how did they figure out 8 minutes? But maybe that's when they run down the hill. I don't know. But it's going to be night. It's not going to be raining. I heard about the hurricane. It's going to be out of here by then. You're going to get some rain, but it'd be cool. It'll be nice. It'll be electric. It's Death Valley. It's like we're going to be sitting about 50-yard lines, great seats. I'm excited about it, and should be a good game.
Yeah, it was really good to see Cade clicking again. I mean, it looks like he's really starting to see the field and really starting to. I mean, that rolling out to his right and making that pass to Antonio Williams in the end zone was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it's like you almost when he threw it, you almost thought that he was like trying to throw it away. And it was like a dime right there on Antonio Williams in the end zone.
He's throwing some dimes, man.
Yeah,
he really has.
That's good. Maybe we have
momentum is everything. Here. Momentum and confidence is everything in football and in any sport, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got Louisville's going to maybe test us, and then we got Carolina in the season. Carolina's looking good.
Well, Carolina should have beat LSU. They should have beat LSU.
Yeah, they should have.
I don't think did they play this past week? Hold on.
Yeah, they beat somebody pretty good.
They played Akron. So
they killed them though, didn't they?
Yeah, 50-7. This week will be they have a bye week this week.
Okay.
But they play Ole Miss. They're hosting Ole Miss on October 5th. And that could be either one-sided or a very good game.
Yeah, are they playing at Carolina?
Yeah, they're playing in Carolina. So
I'm gonna tell you something about South Carolina at home. They've been known to upset teams. I mean, they beat Georgia, they beat Alabama.
They should have beat LSU a couple of weeks ago.
LSU. They should have. Well, I hate to say this, but I mean, call it what it is. There's some bad play calling, period. I mean, there was some bad ref in that game.
Yeah, I mean, there was a pick six that was taken off the board that they should have had.
I mean, you got one job to do as a referee, and you don't even work the whole year at that job. You go to a couple games or whatever, 10, 11, 12 games a year, you ought to get it right.
Right.
And I hate when a bad call is made and it has something to do with the outcome of the game. I mean, maybe you're blowing somebody else 60-3 or something. It doesn't matter as much. But if it gets down to a game, it could have gone either way. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a Cowboys fan. I catch more hell for that than anything. But Des caught that ball, and all of us, whether you're a Dallas fan or not, and as bad as the time we have playing Green Bay in the playoffs, they've got our number in the playoffs. I sat there and watched that thing, and God, I was about ready to throw my TV outside that. I mean, Des caught that ball, and then I think they changed the rules a little bit after that.
Yeah. The offense is looking good. Defense still looking really good. But you can see the difference. You see the difference in defense when they're getting off the field and getting some rest because the offense, is doing their deal. Although Saturday offense scored pretty freaking quickly and defense had to go right back out on the field. But
I mean, 28 points uses the end score. I mean, we could have done that twice in the first quarter.
Yeah.
We kept that up, we'd have over 100 points every game, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I didn't, like I said, it was so hot. We went down to halftime and ate at the concession stand, kind of sat out there, watched the game, and then we went out the breezeway, and I'm like, let's just go tailgate. So I didn't watch a lot of the second half because it was just a blowout. I know they put the second string defense in. I guess they gave up a couple points there.
Oh, they put in I think at one point in time the water boy was in.
Well, they had 35 points. So
yeah, that's just because there was a lot of freshman mistakes on defense.
Well, Peter Woods didn't play. What's the deal on him? Is he okay this week?
Who?
Peter Woods didn't play
Did he
Saturday.
not? I could have sworn he was out there. No, he's number 11, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
played.
thought they said he wasn't playing.
No, I saw him on the field.
Okay, well, I thought they said before the game on the radio.
He may not have played a lot, but he was out on the field. I saw him play.
Okay.
I even said to my son, I was like, "Oh, Peter."
Well, Sammy Brown's getting a lot more
11.
playing time. Okay. Well, they said something like the night I was listening to the Roar or something, said he wasn't going to. Maybe it's questionable. That's good news. That's good news he played. I know he didn't play the game before.
I think he started, but then once they kind of went away with it, I don't think he came out much.
Okay.
I was a little worried about Maffa, though. I mean, with him getting hurt.
Oh yeah, we sitting in the stadium, we saw that, and then I'm thinking.
It didn't look like he hit the ground hard, but you never know how.
I think he just got his breath knocked out.
But he come off the field. He goes into the the medical tent, and he comes back and then busts out a long run for a touchdown. So
yeah, well, I was telling Mike, we saw it, and I'm like, he's down, and then everything got quiet, and they all went over there. And then it showed the replay on the jumbotron, and it said hopefully that looked like he just got the breath knocked out of him, and that's probably what happened. So they didn't go in concussion protocol. So usually get breath.
It was a shoulder. It was a shoulder. Like on TV, we had the replay a couple times, and the announcers talked about it. They're like, he immediately pointed to his shoulder, and he already had the one shoulder with that brace thing on that he had, like the little straps coming out from his shoulder pad. So whatever happened was to his shoulder.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with his head at all.
Why? Who is this? Why is my mind going blank? Is McCade? Who's the other running back?
Etsazumi. Or however you say Etsazume. And then it was Hayes. McCain.
Yeah,
he's got Adams.
Yeah.
So you got Hayes and Adams. They came in once the when Maffa went out. Keith Adams got a lot of the runs. Let's see, he was. Do I have stats for him?
I mean,
you got David Etsazume and Jay Haynes. That's right. Haynes and Keith Adams. Let me look at the stats really quick here. Rushing.
Haynes.
You got Bill Maffa.
Haynes is the guy I'm thinking about. Haynes. Yeah. He's good.
Well, let me go back to the actual game.
Everybody played. I'm looking at stats right now. All three quarterbacks.
I was looking at career stats. Let me look at the.
Pearman got in there. Vizio, he didn't have too good of a game, though, -4 yards. But Pearman, of course, we saw him at the spring game. He got a little bit of playing time. Cole Turner had a good game. Maffa. Here's the thing. Maffa had 107 yards, but he didn't really play the second half.
Yeah. Well, there was a total of 270 yards rushing.
Cade had 200-something yards passing, ran for a touchdown, threw for 3 touchdowns, and he didn't play but a half. And they've got him up in the top. Number 2, I think, is rankings of quarterbacks in the nation right now as far as quarterback performance QBR rating. Cade's number 2. And, the way Dabo works, and I get why he does it and gives everybody playing time, which is cool. That's why I don't know if we ever have a Heisman winner there.
Well,
it seems like
I think honestly, if we had a candidate that really had a real shot at Heisman, he would leave him in there. Right now, if Cade Klubnik had a legitimate shot at Heisman, he would stay in there until fourth quarter. He would stay probably until the start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to take a chance of.
I kind of gave up on the Heisman thing when Watson didn't get it. It's like, just give me a national championship.
Crazy story though. So Maffa had 7 carries for 107 yards in that game.
7 carries.
7 carries for 107.
That is
15.3 yards an average.
Carry. 15 yards a carry.
15.3 yards a carry.
with an average of like that, you're first down every time you touch the ball.
Yeah. In the App State game, Maffa was 10 for 118 yards.
Yeah, so he's breaking, and he didn't play the second half really. So
right,
he's breaking 100-yard games without even playing but half a game. So they're putting up halftime numbers that are usually full game numbers. But
he's sitting at 33 carries for 284 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's an 8.6 average.
Can't beat that.
So he's,
like we always talk about,
well on his way to break 1,000 yards rushing this year.
Yeah, well, we said, we're blowing people out and they take them out, but I think I predicted he could get 1,500 yards if he's healthy and he gets to play, some full games. But in order to play a full game, it's got to be.
And
close.
then Haynes, who kind of came in when he went out, he had 8 carries for 42 yards and 1 touchdown in the NC State game.
Okay.
Against App State, he went 5 for 49 yards with no touchdowns.
Syracuse, they held Quentin Allen to 25 yards on 8 carries. They had 2 interceptions. Their defense. Syracuse defense looked pretty. I mean, not Syracuse, Stanford. Sorry, against Syracuse. Now they played Syracuse, right?
Stanford played Syracuse last week. Yes.
And Syracuse is ranked. What you said they're ranked? Louisville's
ranked, but I don't think
Syracuse not ranked.
I don't think Stanford was ranked. Now, if they were ranked, they would have peaked just slightly into the top 25 at the time because they did beat Georgia Tech, who was ranked at the time that they beat them, but they were ranked like 21 or 20. I think Georgia Tech was like 24 or 25 or something like that because, after beating Florida State, who was ranked number 10, Georgia Tech topped into the rankings.
Yeah. All right. So you got Texas number
Syracuse 1. Beat them in Syracuse in a close game. So I don't think Syracuse quite got there yet.
I really want to see this Alabama-Georgia game. Of course, I'm not going to see it because it'll be a Clemson game. It's a 7:30 game. That's gonna be I'm sure ESPN game days there. That's gonna be a good game. They're playing, I think, in Alabama. What do you think about that game?
Georgia, Alabama?
I mean, this is my opinion. My opinion doesn't matter.
If first off, I mean, Alabama's going to have the edge for the fact that they're playing in Alabama. I mean, you got to give them.
Surprised me a little bit.
But
Alabama
I don't know if Alabama has enough to beat Georgia. I mean, Georgia has one of the best defenses. I think
it's going to be a great game. I think Georgia's going to win that game.
Number 2, Georgia has the best quarterback in the nation right now.
I honestly think
it was me. He's probably going to be the one that wins the Heisman this year.
Yeah, I think they got it right with Texas being number 1, but I honestly think Tennessee's number 2, even though they got them number 5.
So
the reason I think Tennessee's number 2 is their defense is a lot better than they've been in years past, and their offense is that quarterback they got is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Ole Miss number 6. They got Miami 7. I wish we had Miami on our list. I think it's going to be Clemson, Miami in the ACC championship.
That's what I would predict. I just kind of looked it up. So when Syracuse beat Georgia Tech, they beat them 31-28. It was down to the wire, but Georgia Tech was ranked number 23 at the time they beat them. So Syracuse hasn't quite topped into the top 25 yet, but with losing to Stanford now, I don't know. I mean, but they only lost by 2 points.
Okay.
So
Utah, that's a weird team, but they're number 10. Missouri, Michigan's fallen to 12. They actually went up 6 points. But USC, LSU, Louisville, 15. So they're a little bit ahead of us. Notre Dame's 1 spot ahead of us, 16. Clemson, 17. Iowa State, Illinois, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, BYU. Texas A&M's way out there at 24. So, like I said, we're positioned good. I mean, we only got to be in the top 12, or we only got to win the ACC championship. Either way, we get in.
Yeah,
got a long football season ahead of us. But I'm gonna have to tape that Alabama Georgia game. I'll see that when I get back. Georgia's got a tough schedule. They're playing everybody.
Georgia has probably the toughest schedule in the nation.
To be number one, you got to beat the best. You got to beat.
I mean, they've got Alabama, and then if I'm not mistaken, the week right after they have Texas.
That'll be a good game. Yeah, they do have Texas.
Yeah,
Georgia and Texas can be a good game.
I'm predicting right now Georgia's going to be one loss. It's either going to be to Alabama or it's going to be to
they play in Tennessee. I mean,
but you know what? But you know what? Don't look past Tennessee either.
Is Georgia playing Tennessee?
I believe they do. Yes.
Yeah, they do. November 16th. They've got a schedule, man. But I mean, they came in ranked number one. They're number two now. They haven't lost, but yeah, Tennessee. I've watched Tennessee. Their offense, they've had a pretty good offense the last couple of years. Their defense looks really good this year. That's just why I'm thinking that they're better than the years before.
I mean, good matchup between Louisville and Notre Dame this weekend too.
Louisville, Notre Dame. That'd be a good game. We're going to have to pick some
Louisville
games.
will be playing at Notre Dame. And that right there will help. That right there will help Notre Dame or Louisville in the rankings if they beat Notre Dame in Notre Dame.
Let me see. Georgia football. Yeah, I remember looking at that schedule earlier. Georgia. Okay, Alabama. Then let me see. Then they go straight to Texas. No, that's on the 19th. They play Alabama. They play Auburn next week. Not this week, next week. Mississippi State, Texas, Florida. Florida's really stinks. Ole Miss is good. They play Ole Miss. They're number 6. And then they play Tennessee.
Ole Miss hasn't played anyone.
Yeah, well, no, they haven't played anybody.
I mean,
they play Tennessee in the middle of it.
They play Ole Miss first game of the season played Furman.
Yeah,
76-0.
76-0.
And then they played MTSU.
Thank you, sir.
Then they played MTSU.
What was the upset game this week?
I don't even know who MTSU is. They played MTSU the very next week, won 52-3. Then they played Wake Forest last week.
Who was the team that got upset this week? Won it this week or was last?
Oklahoma, technically, but
no,
not really.
Somebody played. No, James Madison beat.
Oh yeah, James Madison beat the tar out of the Tar Heels.
The Tar Heels paid them $1 million.
Yeah,
come play them. So here's $1 million. Come kick our ass.
Hey.
Yeah, we saw that game. I was looking up a scoreboard at Death Valley, and I'm like, what in the world, man?
James Madison literally beat the Tar out of Tar Heels.
And got paid to do it. That's the funny part.
Did you hear the press conference afterwards, though?
What did the coach say?
Mac Jones asked the team if he needs to resign.
I heard that.
He asked if he could step down. He literally asked if he should step down.
That's bad.
And
he's a good coach, man.
The team said, no, you don't need to step down. But he literally was about to resign his position after that game.
I don't know what happened any given Saturday with James Madison, man. I mean, that sounds like a high school team. I've heard of them, but I haven't really heard of them.
And they did it in UNC Chapel Hill.
In Chapel Hill, and got $1 million. UNC paid them to get an ass whooping. Here's $1 million, whoop her ass.
Yep, literally. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with Notre Dame and NIU. Notre Dame paid NIU $1.9 million. I think it was $1.9 million, and they came into their house and beat them.
Yeah,
beat Notre Dame.
Yep.
So
what a happy time up there in Tar Heel country Saturday.
Well, like I said, I thought it was crazy when
I saw that score pop up on the Jumbotron. I thought I was seeing things. I was like, game.
Yeah. He literally about stepped away.
He's not a bad. I don't know what happened. He's not a bad coach. He's been okay.
He's a legendary coach. National championship.
He won the national championship with Texas.
Yeah,
I like the dude. I like him. And he's done okay with North Carolina the last couple of years. But
Yeah, he's got a national title with Texas.
James Madison. I don't even know where James Madison is. Where's James Madison?
I think it's Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
Yeah, pretty confident it's Virginia.
All right. Lost some money on that one. Somebody did. Vegas did. So anyhow, going in the fourth game, it was homecoming. I think I mentioned that. I don't know if I mentioned earlier that. I don't know. They were working on the floats and we were leaving Death Valley. Those things. If you ever been to homecoming, you usually get Friday night before and everybody's walking around taking pictures. I've been going since I was a little kid, but I don't know the weather, what they're going to be doing there. They may be just doing it Saturday. It's not supposed to be raining Saturday. This hurricane is supposed to come up.
Homecoming is this Saturday?
Huh?
Homecoming is this Saturday?
Yeah.
That can't be right.
Yeah, it is. Just wrote an article. My writer was at the doctor. He couldn't write today. I sent him an article. I write one myself, and I was looking in. No, we were leaving Death Valley Saturday. They even
usually homecoming is like after you've kind of been. You had a couple road games.
In October. Yeah, it's usually in October, but I mean, we usually have bye weeks in October. Everything's backwards this week. No, homecoming's this week.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that would be a homecoming game.
Homecoming's cool because of all the events they do before. The night before and all.
Well, they have the floats. They have the.
But Mother Nature, I'm just glad because I know we're probably doing probably going to do an outdoor show at the motorcycle place. And then we're going to be out on a deck at the Mexican place. So I was glad the hurricane's going to be shooting through there. But I don't know, man. I saw something that maybe the hurricane will be through here by lunchtime on Friday is what we're hoping. But in between those 48, 72 hours, we're going to get a lot of rain is what they're talking about. It's moving fast, but it's dropping a lot of rain.
Last time we played in the hurricane, we won.
I had tickets to that game, and I sold them, man. And I
was there
from the man cave, and I'm glad I watched it from the man cave. That was epic. And then Ben Boulware made that stop at the end, and he's running across the. God, that had me on the edge of my seat. But you were there.
I was there, and I'll never forget.
I hope you had a raincoat.
Oh, I did, but it didn't matter.
There's no way you couldn't have gotten it.
I had raincoat, rain pants, rain boots. It did not matter because it rained so much that it literally went through all of the rain stuff because it just couldn't hold out the water anymore. I got to my truck and my socks were soaking wet. My feet looked like prunes.
Yeah, what was it, like 19-17? You can't score a lot of points when it's raining like that. I mean, they were literally sliding.
We started out that game really well and was winning really well. Yeah. And then we allowed Notre Dame to come back in the fourth quarter.
I remember that. But I remember they got down on what?
That stop at the goal line.
And rolled out, and then Boulware just came over and came back and stopped that guy right.
We had a big goal line stand to keep them from. I think that would have tied the score, or would have just taken the.
No. At the end, they would have won. I think, right?
I was just about to say they either would have tied it, or they would have gone up by like 1 or 2 points.
What year was that? 15.
Yeah.
15, 14, 15. That was 15, I think. Yeah, 15. Notre Dame versus Clemson, 2015. October the 3rd. Let's see. So you were there, huh?
Yeah.
Sean Watson, it was 24-22. They would have won. I know what it was. I think, were they going for a 2-point? Were they going for 2 points to tie it? We won 22-24. Sean Watson threw 2 touchdowns. Ran for 2.
It might have been that. It might have been.
Yeah, it was a 2-point conversion. It said.
2-point conversion.
Defense stopped Deshaun Kaiser on a try and 2-point conversion as a 12. We were ranked 12th. Went on to beat number 6 Notre Dame, and we went. That was the year that we kind of broke out. Nobody knew it. Expected. We went to the national championship and lost to Alabama. That's when we actually started our run. Because we hadn't been to one in like 35 years. And then the following year we won. But yeah, they had to make a 2-point conversion to tie and go into overtime. We stopped them. So 22, yeah. I mean, an extra point wouldn't meant anything. But, yeah, it was a low-scoring game, 22-24. Surprised they scored that many points during that. But I just remember you watching the wind blowing. It looked like, God.
Oh, it was windy. That's for sure.
Windy. It was
windy, and I'm telling you, it never stopped raining. Never stopped.
did.
There was not a moment that it like stopped.
I have a
raining.
feeling it's going to be like
rained
that.
from like me and my wife went to that game, and we went and was walking around downtown, and it was raining the whole time we were in downtown. I think it might have stopped raining for like a little bit, but then when game time started, it stayed at a steady rain and never stopped until after we got to the truck and was driving home.
Whole game. It had been raining forever too. I remember that.
Dude, it was crazy.
For like 2 weeks it would rain on every other day.
I will never forget that game. That was one of the best games.
I had 2 tickets. I had a guy
that crowd. I mean, that stadium was
my
packed.
ex-wife never went to games with me, but I had a guy and he couldn't. I forgot what happened. He couldn't go, so I had an extra ticket. And the guy down the road, a guy I knew that I'd worked with, he was like, "I'll take him." So he went.
I mean, it was crazy. That stadium was packed. Like, what's his name? Kelly came out of the Brian Kelly came out of the dugout. When he came out of the locker room and he saw that stadium was slam packed. His face, like, I still love the look on his face. Like, oh wow, I can't believe this stadium is packed right now. And it was loud. Oh, it was so loud.
Oh, it was. I know. It was a hurricane, man. Wind was going 20, 30 miles an hour, too.
Which kind of brings me to a point that I'd like to make. And it irritates me sometimes when I'm watching it on TV. Now, granted, I can't say a whole lot because I didn't get to go.
Yeah.
But what I hate, especially when it's North Carolina State, a rival game, they had all potential to come in there and beat us this past Saturday.
They have
but
what?
When I see the cameras pan back and you see parts of the upper deck just completely empty, it drives me crazy. That stadium could be packed to the hilt.
You talking about this weekend?
On every game.
You talking about this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, by halftime it was. Everybody.
No, it was in one of the first quarter. It was only like 14-28 nothing. And the camera like panned back, and you saw like the one whole corner of the upper deck just empty.
It was miserable. I'm telling you. It got to be halftime.
But
I mean, my socks were sweat. I was sweating all over.
And I'm gonna tell you, if I had the means,
and it was a noon game, man, and it was just like my phone overheated. But I think a lot of people, they saw we're blowing them out. They just they left, and
yeah, I mean, I saw like the camera pan back in like the third.
No, I mean, the
stadium just
game. I think
the
game is pretty packed.
Yeah,
but yeah, those September games, man. Dude, I went to that Texas A&M game. It's miserable out there. And I told Mike, I said, I'd rather be 15 degrees. I'd be fine. Be out here in short sleeve shirts. Don't even need a jacket. I just don't like heat.
I don't know. I hate seeing a stadium just empty, especially when
they were around the stadium. There was a bunch of people.
Right, but that's my point. Like, Clemson tickets cost so dadgum much.
Somebody asked me last year. He got engaged to this girl, big Clemson fan. She'd never been. He's from New York. He texted me one time. He goes, "Man, how much is Clemson taking?" I said, "Well, it all depends, man. Depends on what game it is. Depends on where you see." And he said, "What's your budget?" And he bought the tickets. I went down. I bought them for him and whatever, transfer him. I met him for lunch one day. And but I mean, it's weird. It's kind of like the stock market. Like you go in there, if you buy them early, they go up. The closer you get the game, the more they cost. And
well, like I said, I hate that they charge so much. We get a little bit of success, and all of a sudden, ticket prices are astronomical, and you're eliminating fans that really want to go to the game but just can't afford to go to the game. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I mean, to me it costs me more because I have to get a hotel room because I live here in Charlotte, so I have to drive all the way down, get a hotel room, or
a noon game, most people
or whatever.
If you're going to a noon game, dude,
those noon games, I could drive down and then drive back, but I hate kind of doing it. I like to enjoy my time when I come down, like stay a little bit.
Noon games, I know. Dude,
even for a noon game, I'd have to leave.
I mean, I stayed over at Clemson, and Mike came over and met me. He got over about 8:30, and then we got all disconfigured in the parking. We didn't get parked till like 10:30, and we were only a couple miles from the stadium. And then by the time we got out of the car, we really didn't have time to tailgate or nothing because it's 10:30, And then we went over to the SO Club for a little bit, and we're at the game.
That's why I hate the 12 o'clock games, and I really hate the late night games. I'd rather it be the 3:30 game every game.
Yeah, the only way to do a 12 o'clock game is get down there, stadium at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Because you're within 5 miles of Clemson at 9 o'clock or so, or later, you're screwed.
I hate seeing the stadium partially empty.
I like the build up.
I hate that.
This Saturday's going to be great. Get the show at 11 and do one at 2, be done at 3. I mean, even 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 4 hours even after that second show to go down. That's about as fun as the game sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it was like what, 5-6 years ago, Duke was actually playing like really, really good. Yeah. They actually had a decent team, and they were hosting Miami, who was a good team that year.
They beat us last year.
And
what is Duke doing this year? I hadn't heard much from them.
Nothing. Being Duke again. They lost. Well, they lost their starting quarterback to transfer portal. He went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But no, what I was saying was Duke was having a good season that year, and they were hosted Miami, and Miami was actually a pretty good team that year too. It was like, I think they were ranked. I think Duke was somewhat ranked, if I remember correctly. I think they were actually ranked. But you're playing a top-ranked team. You have a potential, and Duke won the game, but Miami won in one of those where they threw the ball back and forth on a kickoff, and they kept throwing it back, and finally got all the way to the end zone and won the game in a fluke play.
I remember that.
But the stadium was like empty. It was like hardly anybody there.
You ever seen Duke Stadium though? It looks like a high school stadium. Wake Forest too.
I get that. I get it. But what I'm saying is, I hate when teams are having a good team. And I get it. Duke is a basketball school. I totally get it. But when your football team is actually playing well and you're hosting a top-ranked team, conference game team, that stadium should have been packed to the hilt.
Well, I think it was pretty much sold out. That a lot of people left by halftime. Now, that was a night game instead of a noon game. I'd have stayed all the way probably through the fourth quarter. Even though we're blowing them out. But it was just miserable, man. I had sunburn. I was just like, I got home. I got back to Spartanburg. I was just tired, man, just from the sun. Kind of like that golf tournament we played.
That day was hot.
Yeah, remind me. I talked to Brad last week. Remember Brad that played with us? I'm gonna go by there. What's the name of that place we played at?
Bosco,
yeah. I'm gonna go by there and see what we need to do to set up a I Bleed Orange. I want to do one in like April when it's not hot.
Yeah. And
what's all entailed, and how, and then we start marketing it and get some sponsors, people sponsor it, and then I'm thinking about maybe the Dabo Fund, or find some causes of Jenny and them, or something like that. We gave some money to them, something we could support and get people in on, and not be. That was the first thing I thought. I don't know what it is about me. I just don't like the heat, bro. I mean, I'll be walking around in a short sleeve shirt with 20 degrees outside. Doesn't bother me. Cold weather doesn't bother me unless it's like 0.
I'd rather be hot than cold. That's me.
You really?
I can't stand being cold. I hate being cold.
I like cold weather, man. I can put on a jacket if I need to.
Yeah.
I remember being up Christmas Eve, day before 23rd of December. We were up in Chimney Rock, and it got down to 4 degrees. It really didn't bother me. I had a jacket on. I came back, and damn pipes had busted in the house. I had to tell you about that story, dude. I'm watching a Dallas game, right? And this has nothing to do with the podcast, but it's a funny story actually. So I'm watching the Dallas game, and they're playing on Christmas Eve, and it got down to like 7 degrees in Spartanburg. It was probably, you remember that, probably just cold up there in Charlotte. And I'm wrapping my presents. We're all going to my stepbrother's house for Christmas, and they just, he only lives about 4 miles from. Wrapping my presents, and I run out of wrapping paper, and I got a couple more presents to wrap. And it's halftime of the Dallas game. it was December, gets dark about 5:30. So I'm Google Walgreens and it's open. They got wrapping paper. I run down there to get wrapping paper at halftime. I come back. I'm sitting there watching the second half of the Dallas game. I have like a little man cave, and it used to be we parked your car, garage turned into a man cave, and then you walk out of there. There's a bathroom over there, and so I'm hearing this noise like shh. So I had to pee anyway, so I went up there, went to the bathroom. And all of a sudden, the walls, I'm hearing this. Dude, I don't freak out much. And I knew at that point what was going on. You could hear like a river coming down through the. So I'm freaking out. I'm trying to figure out somewhere to turn. I go in the backyard and there's like a little, and it's still like, it's like 12 degrees now. And there's like there's a lake out there. It's fixing to freeze. So I go out to the thing and I can't. Anyways, I remember Dad, because he has a lake house too. And he talked something about how he lives about 4 miles from me. So I call him up, brings one of them little twisting things, turn the water off. And the thing was frozen. And I called the water company. Make a long story short, basically 45-minute wait because I wasn't the only one in the neighborhood. They finally came over there. Took them. The thing was frozen. They got it turned off. So here I am at Christmas. For like 4 days, I'm waking up. I go knock on my dad's stepmother's house in the morning. I'm here to take my daily shower. But yeah. But that
pipes freezing, man. That
then you have people in there. I mean, it took forever to get it fixed. I had to tear the roof apart, seal them apart. But 4 degrees. Got it before. I remember looking at the phone, it's 4 degrees. That's cold as I remember it being around here. I remember being in Minneapolis, it got below zero, but I don't know. I like it.
I do not like going to anywhere north when it gets cold. Period. Like I don't get how people from that live in Chicago can live in Chicago.
Yeah, and it is a windy city, and I've been up there.
I do not get that.
I've been in
when you
Chicago.
Walk out and it says 0 degrees, but a negative wind chill is like 30.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I was in Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul for like a week, and it broke 0 one day. I mean, it was negative degrees. You wake up, and then the wind would blow, and you wonder why people move down here when they retire. Nobody moves up north, but we got the heat and humidity.
Definitely got that.
I don't know, man. My new words, razzle dazzle. I even put it in the article. I just that's how I describe the offense. I like it, man. It was so funny because after the Georgia game, we're vanilla, stale. Everything just looked basic. You could basically, the opposing team basically could tell you they're either 1 or 2 plays they're going to call, and they already knew what they were going to call before we even called it. And then they did something after that Georgia game, went back to the drawing board, started looking at playbook, started going for it.
I don't know what happened, but when they came out for App State, definitely totally different offense.
They got shot out of the cannon. Yeah.
And the NC State game, totally different play calling. I don't know what happened in that Georger game, but it was.
They're executing, man, and he's dropping dimes, and they're catching the ball, and they're not fumbling them. I mean, did we have any turnovers Saturday? Did we have any at the App State game?
I don't remember having a turnover.
I haven't seen any turnovers in the last 2 games either. That's big. That played this last year. And they're just the play calling. They're mixing it up. They're going down the field for the long ball, and players are getting open and getting striding away and getting the ball, and it's exciting.
So, question for you. What do you think about the newer version of the Clemson intro?
Of the what?
So, how they
going down a hill,
bring the buses around the hill. I read an article today.
I've been seeing something, but I haven't been paying attention to.
I read an article today.
What has changed?
And a lot of people in the comments were saying they agreed. It was like people that were at the game.
Yeah.
It is just almost like it's partially still the most exciting 25 seconds in football, but yet I've been seeing something.
What exactly are they doing different?
So okay. From what I was reading the article, because I haven't been to a home game in a little while now, but the band plays the alma mater.
Yeah.
And then they're supposed to play the Orange Bowl March
Mm-hmm.
as they're forming the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they play Tiger Rag as they run down the hill, right?
The cannon goes off. Yeah.
Right. So I guess according to the article that I read today, the band plays the alma mater. They play the Orange Bowl like march, but then the band is like silent for like almost 5 minutes because they're playing a video with Christian Wilkins. And
Yeah,
then
they're doing
play
some. I
another
noticed that.
video. They play another video, and then the team's coming out to the top of the hill, and then the cannon goes off, and boom, then band plays Tiger Rag. So a lot of people were saying that it just seemed, a lot of like it just seemed like out of sync.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The video. I was looking at that and I was wondering. I like it go away.
A lot of the people in this article and a lot of people that were commenting were saying that they felt like it was stale. Like all said, it's like the band used to keep everybody engaged. Because you're clapping as the band's forming the tunnel, and then once they finish forming the tunnel, cannon goes off, team comes down, and the band starts immediately playing the Tiger Rag. So the fans are staying engaged.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that once they formed the tunnel and the band stopped playing, a lot of people were just like on their phones, like looking down at their thing. There's video playing, on the Jumbos thing. They started to play the "We Will Rock You" song, which a lot of people are saying they kind of wish we wouldn't do that because it's like a song that's just so played out and it's not unique.
I like the old. I like the old one, and of course I miss the balloons. We hadn't had that in a while.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, that was an environmental thing, which I get. I totally get that. But no, it's just a lot of people were just saying that they thought that it seemed out of sync. It seemed stale. And it was like, why fix something that wasn't broke? Is a lot of people were saying wasn't broke. So why did we change it? Why
there's a reason they call it the most exciting 25 seconds in college football.
Now, I get the whole bringing the buses around. There's
it builds up, and then the video and all that. I don't think you need all that. You need because people are like on the edge.
One hype video I'll give you, but I mean I guess there was a Christian Wilkins video that was playing this time.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen that video.
Well,
but I don't know. It's just a lot of people were just kind of complaining about the way the intro is being done right now. And you being at the game last Saturday, I was kind of wanting to know if you kind of noticed anything. Did it feel different to you?
Yeah. Now that you mentioned it, did.
So I don't know. Me personally, I think we definitely should not use the "We Will Rock You" song. Don't get me wrong. I love that song. I think it's great. But
now I love that fourth quarter thing they do.
I just feel like we need some kind of a, more of an intimidating type song. If you want to do that, definitely, I think the way the band used to do, where it was kind of keeping the fans engaged, as they're kind of forming, they do the alma mater, then they kind of start to do what's called the Orange Bowl March, and they form the tunnel. The fans are engaged, and then once they finish forming the tunnel, usually that's when the cannon goes off and they go down the hill.
Yeah. Now I do like that fourth quarter strength coach thing they do. Get your dirty hands off.
Oh yeah.
Rock.
Yeah. With the
fourth quarter
physical trainer, the weight training coach.
Yeah, that guy. I can't remember his name.
He's like,
I'll fire you.
Rings aren't won, or what is it?
Rings are won when nobody's watching or something.
Right. Yeah. Now that one I do like, awesome. And I love that they do that for the fourth quarter.
I get you fired up.
Yeah, I've been there for that one, and I love that. I think that's great. I love that. Don't change that. But I don't know. I saw the article this morning about it, and I was like, you know what? That's something I'd like to talk about today because I just wanted to know, what your thoughts were on that. So.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they shouldn't have changed it. They go back. But.
All right. Well.
All right. Another edition.
Boneyard. Friday or Saturday. You're doing Boneyard.
Boneyard. We're going to do it in the morning, 11:30. And then we're going to ride over to El Humidor and do one at 2. And then we got a parking spot, and we're gonna be tailgating over there until the game.
All
So
right.
it's good. I love games like that.
So check them out.
Really, to be honest with you, I wasn't going to the North Carolina game. Mike's like, I want to go. I'm like, man, it's a noon game. Okay, all right, we'll go, Mike. But those night games, I don't
Check them
miss.
out
Huh?
Saturday at
Boneyard
Boneyard, and then
Cycle.
again at El Humidor.
I mean, it sounds. I
Humidor?
just thought about. I've got me a La Gloria Cabana Maduro series. I have not smoked a cigar in 7 days, and I just noticed.
Wow.
I was going to smoke one Saturday night. I got home. I was just too
I'm
tired.
still waiting for my eye bleed orange cigar.
All right, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
All right. Well, good show. Good
tonight.
night to everybody.
All right. Good night.
Check them out. El Humidor and Boneyard on Saturday.
And go to our website and subscribe to our YouTube channel because it helps us out.
Something in
and we'll put
Death Valley Memorial Stadium, 7 p.m. Be there or watch it from home.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Go Tigers.